there, fellow collectors, Shuki here with a review of the Detective Pikachu figures, because I don't have a better way of describing these. So these are done by Wicked Cool Toys, who now has the Pokemon license. I reviewed some of the Tomy releases of Pokemon product in the past, and even some Jack-specific Pokemon products, I believe, in the past. And so this is my first look at some Wicked Cool Toys versions of Pokemon figures, and they're a lot like the Tomy ones. You have your little figures, you have some bigger figures, some that are more posable, and then some that come with Pokeballs, and some that come with little, like, action feature gimmicks, and some that are plush, and all that stuff. So it's a very similar line to what Tomy put out, but now done by Wicked Cool Toys. And of course, with the movie Detective Pikachu releasing on May 10th, there's a slew of products out now for Detective Pikachu, and being the collector I am, I needed to take a look at the figures for this line. So I purchased the figure multi-pack, which is right here. I believe this was $24.99, I believe, at Target. Might have been $19.99, I'll put the prices down here. As well as this Mr. Mime figure, because they're laid out a specific way. The figure multi-pack includes Pikachu, or two different Pikachus, Psyduck, Bulbasaur, Mewtwo, which you can kind of see kind of shadowed out up here, and a Ludicolo. In the individual packs, like this Mr. Mime right here, you can get two packs that include Pikachu and Psyduck, Pikachu and Bulbasaur, Mewtwo, and Mr. Mime. Meaning if you go the single pack route, you don't get your good boy Ludicolo. And you need your Ludicolo, because he's Ludicolo. So I went the option of picking up the figure multi-pack and just bought Mr. Mime separately. I believe Mr. Mime was, I think, $6.99 or $7.99. It's the same price for one of these bigger single ones as it is the two packs. They come in the same package. So, not too bad for the figure multi-pack, plus you get Ludicolo. So, it's just something that I felt the need to do. That being said, I think Ludicolo might be available later on individually if the Detective Pikachu shows get like a Wave 2 or something like that, because I do hope they continue this line, because I love the Detective Pikachu designs, and I really want to have more than just like this group right here. So I really do hope they make more, especially for those that miss out on the figure pack, to be able to get Ludicolo, because he's great. So without further ado, let's get these open and take a look. Alright, so here's our group all together. We're just kind of going to go ahead and go through them one by one, except for like the two packs, because they'll go together. So first of all, we have the cute little Ludicolo! Why? Why? Some of these don't stand quite that well, but first of all, we have that Pikachu and Psyduck. Much better. Alright, so we'll just take a quick look at these. Very, very cute. I absolutely love how these turned out. I was a little bit skeptical at first on how they would transfer a cartoon design to a realistic design, and then back to a somewhat cartoon-ish design for the toys, because the toys aren't going to capture the realism 100% perfectly. But I think they did a really good job of balancing everything out. You got Pikachu's cute little chubbiness going on, because Detective Pikachu has a little bit of the chub, the classic Pikachu chub, that we have all come to know and love. But he's still a little bit slender, but he's got a little bit more of the puff to him as I drag him off camera to his untimely demise. But very, very cute. These are 100% new molds. None of these are reused from any of the previous Wicked Cool Toys Pokemon series. You can tell just by looking at them that they're the Detective Pikachu designs. So you have the cute little Pikachu here with his little detective hat and his kind of fluffier sort of tail. You got some little like hair details coming out there. If you can kind of get a good look in here, you can see the texture throughout the figure to represent the fur. So they did a pretty good job on that. And he's got a little bit of a rose to his cheeks. No articulation or anything like that, but definitely really cool. And his pack partner is Psyduck. If things will focus. Oh, that's a face to look up to. Yeah, so Psyduck, again, no articulation or anything like that. He does have these long, lanky arms, but it's Psyduck and his face. It's a Psyduck face. A face only a trainer could love. I got a little tuft of hair up there. You do have some nice, again, like feathery sort of details throughout his design for the realism. And then his little webbed feet, which also have some little scores in them to look more like actual webbed feet. So, very good job on that as well. I don't know, I love these. So again, the cute standing straight Pikachu is included with the Psyduck, who, despite having weird feet, stands alright. I think his arms kind of balance him out a little bit. But anyway, on to the Pikachu and Bulbasaur one. I like these two. Moving Bulbasaur out of the way real quick. Here is Pikachu in like a waving sort of pose. Like a, hey Tim, I found something. That doesn't sound like Ryan Reynolds at all, or Kaiji Tang. But it's neither here nor there. But very neat. Very, very neat. Same sort of details throughout the character. I think a lot of these are from the same kind of mold, so to speak. Not really the same mold, because they're different figures, but same design frame, at the very least. So he's got his mouth open, he's all happy, he's waving, he's cute. I love him. This movie's gonna rock, I know it. So very, very cute. But moving on to the new Pokemon in this little duo, Bulbasaur. And Bulbasaur is a design that I feel is very hard to nail in realism without looking creepy AF, but they pulled it off. I feel they pulled it off. Like, he looks a little creepy, and the way his mouth is positioned is kind of derpy, I think. But they pulled it off. He's not freaky looking, and I think it accurately represents what a real Bulbasaur should look like. So I think they did good. The bulb, you can kind of see the individual leaf petals throughout there. I kind of wish this was a little bit better painted, like a little bit more of a good gradient, like a darker green moving into the light green. But that's neither here nor there. His body is painted well with the spots and the eyes and everything like that. So definitely a good job there. Again, no articulation on these little guys, but still a very good job nonetheless. So moving along from the little guys, let's move into Mewtwo. And here is Mewtwo, and they did a pretty good job with Mewtwo. Mewtwo is one of those weirder designs that's kind of more difficult to nail in realism, and I think they did a pretty decent job, all things considered. His tail does rotate right here, and does it rotate in the back? It does not rotate in the back. His legs do rotate right there. These are the bigger ones, so they have articulation. Hands are on a swivel, and a shoulder swivel is what I meant to say. And his other hand is on a shoulder swivel. So you can get a little bit of posing out of him. Unfortunately, the head does not move at all. So you can raise that one up. Raise that one over. His tail kind of acts as a stabilization for his legs. So you can actually move his legs a little bit and still get him to stay properly just because of his tail. So that's always nice. So Mewtwo is actually, I think, the most stable of all of the figures. To be honest, I don't know what I want to do with this hand. Like, it's posed weird, and I don't know what to do with it. I'll just move it out like that, I guess. Something like that. But in terms of the details on this guy, the eyes are really well done for being so small. He does have kind of a more humanish sort of design and proportion to him, which I think works for the realistic sort of style that the movie's going for, because he's got like abs and stuff. Not like hardcore like workout abs, but you can kind of see how they made his design a little bit more human, so to speak. But he's still got his little chicken legs going on here. Nice gradient from the purple in the tail to the kind of pinkish color of the body. So all in all, very good job. Much better than the Burger King toy that I have. But anyway, to conclude the figure pack, let's move on to Ludicolo, who's right here. It's Ludicolo! Sorry about that. I just love this guy. And his presence in the movie trailers, I think, is amazing. And he's one that's kind of got wackier when they introduced him into the realism, because he has fingers and stuff now. But I love the way that just like his sort of poncho body design is. Like, I feel they nailed it, making it kind of furry. So I dig that, and he's got his little duck bill and his little beady eyes, his little sombrero, pineapple, palm tree thing that he's got going on. I'll admit his hands are kind of creepy, to say the least, but he does have his little dinosaur feet. I don't know. Ludicolo is weird. But anyway, the paint detail on here is perfect. Would have liked a little bit on the head. The head just feels very plain to me, the hat rather, but the body is perfect, I think. In terms of how they handled the brown, throughout here it really does look like a fur. So, I think they absolutely nailed Ludicolo. In terms of articulation, his legs do not move at all, his hat does not move at all. He only has rotation in the shoulders right here. So I'm going to get his hands open up a little bit, so he's kind of like, hey! Just like that. But, really cool. No, Ludicolo turned out great. And now on to the creepiest of the bunch. Fan favorite, Mr. Mime. And he has to stay like that because I can't get him to stand. He's got really tiny feet, and a very bulbous body. And I know there's a way to get this to work. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. I did it! Until I pound on the ground, maybe? Nope, oh, I think I nailed it. Can't move it. As you can see, his legs do rotate. I'll do it, fine. His legs do rotate all the way around. His arms rotate, but they're at this point right here. So they only rotate like that. So he's kind of like window washing. And then this one rotates around like that. So, not a full range of motion, but he's getting there, kind of. No, I'm never going to get him to stand again, aren't I? Head does not move, as the shoulders are kind of wedged into his head. But, as it stands, he's my least favorite of the figures, I think. And I think it's just because of the way he's designed. I don't think his design is bad. I think they actually did a really good job of translating something as creepy as Mr. Mime into a realistic thing without going overboard on the creepy. Because he's just so cartoon. And then you turn him into a realistic Pokemon. How do you do that without getting creepy? And I think they did it fairly well. There's some design elements in here throughout, like, his little poofs that aren't present in the figure. So he's the one that I think looks a little bit most off. And that doesn't really have anything to do with the fact that he's a Mr. Mime. I think they just kind of couldn't get all of his kind of quirky details into the figure. But still really good, and again, you have to pick this one up on its own. It is not included in the little figure set, but he is cool. Oh, I did it. Nonetheless. So let's bring everybody in, and here they all are. If you are a Pokemon fan that is hyped for Detective Pikachu and you want a little bit of desk representation for this movie, look no further than these figures. They are fantastic. I, again, was really worried about how they would transfer over into toys, and I think Wicked Cool absolutely nailed these designs. So, perfect representation of some of these guys. Ludicolo in particular, I really enjoy how he turned out as a figure, so if you are a fan of Ludicolo, I definitely urge you to pick out the figure pack. Plus, you get all these other cool guys except for Mr. Mime, because you have to buy them separately. But if you just want Ludicolo, wait a little bit. But don't wait too long in case the figure pack goes away. But these are really cool, and again, I hope we get a wave 2 for these, because I would love some more Pokemon like Snorlax, or Machamp, or Snubbull, or Jigglypuff, or any of those like mainstay guys in the trailers, because it's great. I love this movie, I'm hyped for this movie, and I cannot wait to see it on May 10th, technically May 9th, because I'm definitely going to go see it the day before. So that about does it for this review. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you want to see me review some more Wicked Cool Pokemon toys, let me know in the comments down below as well, and I will see what I can do.